at the heart of TNO, there's societal change. Changing a society, changing a country, making countries more sustainable, making islands more sustainable. This requires collaboration of stakeholders. It requires collaboration of governments, knowledge institutes, and businesses. There's every opportunity for all of those three parties, and as it has been shown in the Netherlands, through what is called the polder model, this societal change can only be brought about with the good collaboration of those three elements. Actually, TNO does exist already more than 80 years, but specifically after the Second World War, TNO was reinforced and strengthened to help the Dutch small and medium enterprise sector, because it was realized that small and medium enterprises can be a key component of a strong economy and that they often lack the facilities for doing research and development. And through TNO, the Dutch government created an institute that can help those companies in doing research, either dedicated or in a collaborative fashion. And this is one of the strengths also that TNO is bringing to the region. So, sorry, this is the pointer. Let us talk about the region for a moment. Opportunities in regional R&D. As you see in this chart here, which is showing the R&D expenditure in the region for Latin America compared to other countries across the globe, you will see that in Latin America the expenditure on R&D is relatively low, unfortunately still. So you see at the left end of the chart, you will see a red circle, which is most of the Latin American countries, and the percentage of their global domestic product that they are spending on R&D is relatively low. Now, on the other hand, if you look at the other countries like China, India, European countries, and so on, it's been shown that innovation drives economic growth. So this means that if Latin America wants to pursue economic growth, and you see this in the agendas of several Latin American countries, that you need to invest in R&D, and there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity. If governments across the region will invest in R&D, there will be projects, there will be programs, there will be systems that will be required, and so on. So there's opportunities there for businesses to participate if they spot the right opportunities and if they also move in the right timely fashion. This is a very important observation. It's one of the reasons also why TNO has spotted Latin America as a growth area, because R&D presents a huge opportunity in Latin America. And in order to do this, you need to have a strategy. So, as you see on this chart here, how can you tackle the region? Latin America is very fragmented. You cannot be everywhere at the same time. However, what you can do, you can establish a central office. It's called now the Caribbean Branch Office, CBOT. And it serves a regional clientele. So it does not serve Aruba only. Of course, it does serve Aruba, certainly. But it does also serve many other countries and companies across the region. And it does so by leveraging expertise out of the Netherlands. It means it can easily tap into expertise in the Netherlands in order to make that available, make that knowledge available for either countries or businesses across the region. And this is a huge advantage, because otherwise you would have to build all of the knowledge yourself from scratch. And that, of course, is a very lengthy and costly process, because knowledge is something that's very capital intensive. It's been said that research is transforming money into knowledge, and innovation is transforming knowledge into money, back into money. So this process of research and innovation, of first taking the money, spending time, creating the knowledge, and then leveraging the knowledge, creating back the innovation, is a very intensive, capital-intensive process. So this is why we say, in order to do cost-effective R&D, you need to centralize. You need to have, well, let us call it a bridge. Some people in this room talk about hubs. And maybe in this chart you see some form of a hub, I'm not sure. But in any case, it is clear that you need to have focus, you need to create one place where you can build that knowledge, where you can build that expertise. And this is also why we talk about Aruba as a center of expertise. Obviously, TNO has selected Aruba for a number of reasons. Obviously, the fact that Aruba has a desire to become sustainable in the future. Also the fact that Aruba has a good climate in terms of the conditions to establish businesses. And also the fact that there's a skilled labor force available in order to be able to carry out these kind of projects. Still, the essence remain creating the knowledge and selecting your business opportunities. Similarly, companies also will need to spot their business opportunities, and I'll give some examples on this. Energy. Let us talk about energy and the examples within energy. Why is energy important? Energy is extremely important. Energy touches many, many facets of the society. There's a global drive towards sustainability, and energy is at the core of this. It's about reducing our dependency of fossil fuels. It's about reducing our carbon footprint. How can we make the world cleaner, and how can we deal with the ending supply of fossil-based fuels? At least the fossil-based fuels that can be explored in a cost-effective way. Because you can always find additional reserves, but they will be very expensive to explore. So this means energy, there's a global drive, there's a global agenda. Policymakers across the globe at all kinds of levels, big countries, small countries, are busy with energy. And energy is then touching many facets of society. And in each of these, there's business opportunity. So if you as a business can touch in one of these areas, then automatically you will be tied to the energy agenda. I think this is very important for small businesses to realize. You may be a small business, but if you can make one product, one system that has something to do with energy, then already you are tapping into a global agenda. You are tapping into a stream that is relevant for society, and you will meet other businesses, you will meet governments, you will meet knowledge institutes who are also active in that field. Of course, if you look at this chart here, there's energy, and of course that translates to electricity. It's the form of energy that we are most commonly experiencing, the electricity that we consume each day. And of course, within that there's energy efficiency, so there's all kinds of systems to ensure that we are using energy in a more conscious way. But there are other forms of energy that are less obvious. So let us look at, well, maybe in a random order, or we'll go counterclockwise. Let's look at the built environment. The built environment is the way that we construct houses, the way that we build buildings. Buildings consume a lot of energy. If you look at the energy consumption nationwide, households consume a big chunk, hotels consume another big chunk. It means that the way buildings are constructed is tied to the energy need of the building. For example, cooling. This building here, if it's very well insulated, it will keep the cooling inside. Otherwise, you will have to put the air conditioning much higher. This area, the built environment in Aruba, right now is almost going to explode. In a few years, it will be all over the place. The business opportunity abounds. There was a recent trade fair. I see the organizer in this room. Solutions, systems, new build technology for making walls, for making other kind of bricks, for making roof insulation. All of those things will change the way that houses are being built in Aruba. TNO, together with local partners, is working on a demonstration project called the Smart Community Aruba, in which we will demonstrate these new building techniques for houses. And not only that, we will also demonstrate how existing houses can be changed. So what can you change to an existing house in order to ensure that the energy consumption of the house is reduced? So any business in this area, I think it's great. Huge opportunity. Then transport and mobility. We are talking here about new forms of transport, not really the way that we move, but the way that vehicles are powered, moving away from fossil fuels towards more electrical driven vehicles. And there's of course some intermediate steps. You already see in Aruba the hybrid cars driving around, and I'm aware that there's a limited number of even fully electric cars right now already in Aruba. This is another area, of course, it is tied also to the global automotive industry, and it's tied also to issues about regional dealerships. However, it is one of the developments, just as the gentleman before me with the iPads and the IT from AFA Software said, it cannot be stopped sooner or later. So this will come. And if you are in automotive, or if you are in related businesses that tie into automotive or battery storage, for example, or anything that air conditioning for cars, which is a very important component in this field, there will be a lot of opportunity there as well. Then let's talk about waste. Another area that may not be so obvious, but waste is also very much tied to energy, because actually in common household waste, in commercial waste, there is actually energy. If you take bio-waste and if you burn it, you can generate energy as an alternative to fossil fuels. So waste is a key area also. And as you see already in the Dutch Caribbean, Aruba, Curacao and Bonaire, all of the waste companies have an increased awareness already for looking towards alternative waste solutions. Not only that, there is also the whole issue of environmentalism tied into waste, because as we know, waste presents huge risks for the environment. If you look at the traditional ways of handling waste, and new waste, for example, making gas or making energy out of waste, presents a very nice opportunity. There is also economic opportunity there. Recycling, creating a circular economy, taking waste, making new products out of it, taking plastic, cartons, wood, metal, anything that can be recycled and selling it again or distributing it across the region. We see some small companies in Curacao and Bonaire doing that. We see some initiatives in Aruba as well. There's business opportunity there certainly. And collaboration is also very important in that area if you want to be able to collect the right fractions of waste. And then finally, water. It may also not be so obvious, but it is also very much tied to energy, simply because the processes to create water, to create drinking water, are very energy intensive. Most of the utilities in the region, most of the Dutch Caribbean utilities, most of the other utilities in the Caribbean, spend between roughly 5 to 10% of their energy production on water. They're calling this the internal consumption. It's not very well known, but it takes a lot of energy to make water. It takes a lot of energy to create steam, either to do the traditional water generation plants or to do reverse osmosis as well. So if we would use water in a more conscious way, if we would not use drinking water for just ordinary applications, because let us be mindful, we are now in Aruba as well as other Dutch Caribbean islands, we are using drinking water for common applications. We are flushing toilets with drinking water. We are going to the garden and giving the plants, or cleaning cars, car washing with drinking water. So we are using the best quality water for all kinds of low-end applications. If you think about water treatment, using water that is being thrown away from toilets, from the kitchen sink, from the wash machine, and recycling that water to not drinking water, but a lower quality water, but still suitable enough for applications such as flushing a toilet, then we are working in a more sustainable way. Then we are not throwing away, but we are reusing, and we are conserving the precious drinking water. And this is also one of the experimental areas that will be demonstrated in the project that I mentioned on the Smart Community Aruba, where there will be various sustainable solutions. And it will be shown how water treatment within a residential area can help to reduce the consumption of ordinary drinking water. So, again, business opportunity. I'm aware at the same trade fair a few weeks ago, the organizers in the back of this room, there were some systems already on the market in Aruba appearing. TNO can do testing, TNO can do certification of your systems in order to give you a quality label, because the clients will wonder, oh, okay, it's a nice system, but will it work? Who is saying it's working? Client may want to buy a solar panel. Oh, but will it work? Doesn't it? TNO, as an independent institute, can do testing and certification of equipment, and that will give more certainty to clients in order to know, oh, okay, it's been tested, oh, it complies to this and this standard, and so on. And of course, for the business owner, it's a huge plus, because if the business owner can obtain the necessary certifications or the necessary, let me call it a seal of quality from an independent institute, that can help the business owner to promote his or her product. And that will help also then to create your market and in the end also create your profit. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you and to share some of the work that TNO is doing. TNO is doing, of course, a lot of more things, but these are some of the examples and how it can tie to the opportunities for small and medium enterprises here in Aruba and in the region. Thank you very much.